birthday girl.
Birthday girl. My first public speaking. We had a nice day today. I mean, the wind died down, it was sunny outside, and we were out there.
Hold on, wait, we're gonna turn the music down.
Competition.
Everybody wants Mariah Carey. I thought that was Steve singing.
Well, I could sing.
What are you gonna
but
sing?
I did.
Daddy, can I drink?
It's not singing.
So welcome everybody to the party here for my mom. And,
Yeah, he's excited.
this is my first
Hold the
public-
mic up to your phone.
I need told what to do. I'm the eldest and I gotta do everything what everybody else tells me to do.
Louder to it.
And louder yet. Can you all hear? Louder.
Stand backwards.
Now what I gotta do?
Just don't stand in front of the speaker and speak loud.
See? What?
Keep it by your mouth.
Yeah, keep it by my mouth. Now what I do?
Now you talk.
And what I supposed to say?
Whatever you want to
See?
say.
I'm lost for words. No, it's been a nice day and everything. Thanks to everybody for coming.
Keep the mic in front of your mouth.
No.
So all I gotta say, this is the first time I'm doing a verbal speaking.
Good job.
They should have put a script thing on here.
Yeah.
So, I just, what?
Well, welcome everybody.
Well, yeah, we are. I don't have the
I
activity.
didn't tell everyone we're going to have a tribute first and then dinner after.
Hey Steve, what's on your notes that you're not reading?
Who decided he was gonna
It doesn't say much. Yeah, we're gonna have a tribute later, or I'm done speaking
We're going to
and
have
stuff,
tribute
so.
now and then.
But when you're fed up with me, which is pretty soon, and I won't even start the jokes yet. So, Ben, you wanna do a tribute, or?
Yes, I'll start to.
Okay. Well, have a nice evening, and, I hope everybody's drinking. I sure need it, so.
Thank you, Steve.
Dad, stand, Randy, stand behind the speaker.
I've been in the position Steve has been in now. Years ago, I started this. I was able to begin public speaking with church and everything, and I'm more comfortable. I know how difficult it is for Steve. He's never really done it, and I sympathize with him. So, good job, Steve. And to reiterate, welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. It's a big celebration for Mom. 90 plus years now. And really no one who looks at her says, she can't be 90. Really? 90?
She's got more hair than
I did look up the record. She is 90. It's official. Well, we did put together a tribute. It's all typewritten, and I'm going to read from it, maybe add a little bit. Following me will be Jane. She'll add some, and then Michelle, the oldest granddaughter. She'll finish it up. Mom, your official name is Evan Hulda Julia Tetzlaff Nee Klimt. It's almost impossible to sum up. And I'm going to break up here just in case you know. So. to sum up 90 years of in just a few minutes, but here we go. It's going to be like 15 plus minutes, so just so that. Your life began on December 11th, 1929, the first year of the Great Depression. I don't know how many people can remember that.
Do me a favor.
On a farm in Fredonia, the firstborn of Oscar and Leona Klemp. Leona, her mother, of course, a member of our congregation at the end, lived 101 plus years.
Can you tell my shoe?
Growing up during the Depression wasn't easy, nor was being the oldest with 3 brothers. Back then, there were normal women's chores to do, but you also needed to help on the farm with feeding and tending to the animals, correct? Fast forward to her teenage years. We don't want to dwell too much on her childhood because there's just too much for this time frame. But fast forward is June 8th, 1946. You went to a wedding anniversary dance with your parents in Saukville. George, my father, just happened to be at the dance because he and Wally Radke, along with his date June, were there. That's what they came and they actually crashed the anniversary party. So wedding crashers isn't anything new. Dad saw you sitting with some of your cousins, and he was walking up to you, which surprised you because you thought he was walking up to talk to your cousins. But he asked if he could dance with you. You told us you were surprised that he asked you and not one of your cousins that you were with. And you must have said yes. And then you danced all night. At the end of the dance, George asked if he and the other couple he was with could drive you home. Being the gentleman that he was, he asked your mother if he could take you home with the other couple.
Yeah, right.
And she approved. Now this is a good part here. When you walked out to the car with Dad and Wally and June, you assumed it was Wally's car and that Wally was driving, so you quickly climbed into the back seat. What you didn't know that it was Dad's car. Anyway, you climbed in the back seat, and that's where you tripped over a bag of potatoes. For some reason, he had a bag of potatoes in the back seat, right? Well, back then, who knows? And it caused quite a bit of laughter. But it was because to them, it looked like you were quite anxious to get in the back of the seat for questionable reasons. Later that year, the time came for Daddy to propose, which you knew was coming, right down to the night. But after a date that night, there was no proposal. I'm composing myself here. After you've gotten yourself ready for bed and being very upset that he had not proposed to you that night, you threw back the sheets to find a ring.
Oh my God.
Evie, Grandma.
To find a ring attached to a potato with a chain of paper clips. What you didn't know was Daddy had conspired with your mother. He had a better plan. He had your mother put that ball and chain with the ring into your bed. That was the engagement. That was the proposal. That embarrassing moment from your first date with the bag of potatoes was what we remember today. He remembered it and we remember it. Made a lasting impression. And this is the first of many fun memories you and Dad had. That's the first page. Your wedding was held on a beautiful day in Fredonia at the Lutheran Church, actually St. John's in Fredonia, Lutheran Church, on November 1st, 1947. Since it was All Saints' Day, it was a fasting day for the Roman Catholics who were invited. As was custom, there was a midnight buffet, but don't think that the bride and groom could be the first in line. See, they all had to wait till midnight to eat. Those hungry Catholics were waiting in line for the midnight gong. But they didn't let you eat first. They had to get in line before you. You just had to wait in line for food with the others. Your honeymoon was unique to say the least. On the morning of Saturday, December 27th, which was like a month, almost 2 months later after the wedding, 1947, you started off on your honeymoon road trip. The part that made it unique was it was not just you and Dad on a honeymoon. Another couple joined you for your road trip to California. Elroy Freedy and his wife Ruth, which was Dad's cousin, joined you and Dad on your honeymoon. You ended up driving all the way up to California, and one of your stops was in California to visit George and Ruth's, both of those, their Aunt Lorraine, who was Grandpa Bill's sister, who lived out there, along with many other places along the way. This trip was well documented by Dad in a typewritten 10-page report, which I've read. His recounting of the honeymoon, I've read the recounting of his honeymoon, and there were many great parts that could have been in a movie. In fact, rumor has it that part of its material was used by Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball in the 1953 movie, The Long, Long Trailer. You remember that movie? Some of you? You and Daddy made your home with your in-laws. What? Okay. Anna and Bill Tetzlaff, Dad's parents, for a few years before you get your own home. It was here that you introduced vegetables, right, to the new household. You told us how you missed the vegetables you would always have at dinner growing up. So you took it upon yourself to start feeding your new family things other than the meat and potatoes Daddy was used to eating. Back then, things were still hard on the farm. And when it was realized that the farm could not support two families, Grandpa Bill bought the farm across the street in 1950. The 40-acre farm lovingly became known as the Becker Farm, and a place you and Dad could call your own. Farm life was hard for you and Daddy. You helped on the farm as much as you could, even driving tractors when needed. Where you remember you telling us how Wilma Clausen counseled you to get off the tractor if you wanted babies. So lo and behold, they moved their new house on their new farm, and the babies began to come. First was Margie, 1951, Stephen, 1952, Couple more years later, 54 me and Jane in 59. The Becker farm was your home, our home, for the next 20 years. Life was hard back in the 50s, as many of us remember. Daddy had to take another job to make ends meet, and he did so by learning to become a machinist in the 50s, mid-50s about. You did your share of the farm work by helping Grandpa Bill work on the fields, make hay, milk the cows, and then kept the household, took care of family. You raised us kids on a farm and in the church, having us faithfully attend Sunday church, the St. John's, and Sunday school. We were each confirmed and married in the church. You instilled in us many values that we still hold today. There, I'm done. Jane's going to take over.
Kids, I hope you're paying attention. There's a lot of history going on here. It's hard to document it all. We've gotten the opportunity to hear it over the years, but I know most of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren never heard this. So this is some good stuff. Anyways, hi, Mom. You know, you always raised us with values, and you always made sure we had food on the table and nice clothes on our back. You gardened. You raised chickens. In the backyard at the Becker house. And we also had cows at the Becker house, and we had the farm at Grandpa Bill's. And, yep, and you know what? She milked cows right alongside everybody else, all the guys. Yeah, 5 in the morning. And there's plenty of stories go along with that I'm not going to go into, because it's embarrassing to me. You kept a wonderful home. You sewed our clothes, and you taught Marjorie and I how to sew. And even though you were a farmer's wife, you always stepped out in style because you didn't want to look like a farmer's wife. So you always made sure you took care of yourself and didn't look like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Very, very respectable occupation that you had growing up on your own homestead and with Daddy. And note that Marjorie learned how to do hair on her mother at a very young age. And so becoming a hairdresser was very natural for Margie because that's what Mom was really wanting her to become. You made sure we all had a chance to play piano. We all took piano lessons. And we always had music playing in the house. You know what? We had classical music, we had square dance music, we had polka music, jazz music. We always had different kinds of music playing in the house. And it still is to this day. Mom's always got something different going on in the house. And it gave us an appreciation for music. But it was just always happy to walk into the house. You also raised us all to know how to dance. We got to learn how to square dance. We all square danced. And before Margie got married, we had the chance to take ballroom dancing. Now, I didn't write that part. Randy and Steve and Margie did ballroom dancing.
At Henry's.
I didn't.
Henry's
at
Ballroom.
Henry's Ballroom. If y'all remember that, well, you guys don't.
Yeah,
Marjorie married in 1972. And in 1973, Mom and Daddy built a new house across the street from the Becker farm. The two of you did a lot of the work yourselves, and we all chipped in different ways, but you made it a wonderful home for us all. You hosted many parties and events there, including some pretty crazy costume parties for Halloween, and fires with candles burning the walls. And you cared for others, which is something you did best, and that started in that household. When Grandpa Bill became ill, you took him into that house and cared for him until he passed. When Jeremy was born, we stayed there for a month before our house was done. And she had the opportunity to raise Jeremy alongside me, which was a real special thing. Shortly after, in 1989, you and Daddy built a new home across the street, right next to the Becker house. But on this part of the farmland, this is part of the farmland at that time you still owned. And that's the home that you're in today, 30 plus years and counting. Every Thursday and Friday, you watched your grandchildren while us parents went to work. Randy remembers coming over at noontime during lunch to see the kids and pick up dozens of eggs from your chickens to sell to the guys where he worked. You also had a ready storefront at Marjorie's hairdressing shop because how many of her Jewish customers love your chickens and eggs? It was a ready-made store. Daddy didn't want you to work outside the house. So to make ends meet and provide money to allow you and Daddy to travel, you took it upon yourself to get a job. And you did that in Grafton and later on somewhere else. But you also decided to raise chickens, full mass, 500 in a batch. They were wonderful birds, and to this day, we still, as family and friends who have enjoyed them, have not found chickens nearly as good as what you raised. But even though Daddy didn't want you to see work outside the farm, you did get a working job at a factory in Grafton. You had a part-time job working at a clothing store. Both of you were able to reap the benefits because you got to travel so much. You got to travel to Germany, China, the Caribbean, Australia and New Zealand, and Alaska, and I'm probably missing the bunch because you got to a lot of places. And you were just so blessed to have so many opportunities. And you did most of those with friends, not by yourselves. You were also called upon to care for Daddy during his battle with Parkinson's and for your mother, who aged so gracefully, living to 101. And all the while you sewed and gardened and knitted and crocheted and baked and danced away. Who knows? Maybe you'll hit 100 too. We remember the many, many parties throughout the years. We enjoyed many family parties in our home, in Uncle Irvin and Marion's home, in their basement, which I wish I had pictures of. I think you burned them all. At the Clare house, we would celebrate Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving with the Clare family. We had a great childhood. We would take weekends, of course on Sundays, to go travel and visit the cousins, the Hawks and Fond du Lac, the Klemp family. You got us around. And of course, that's what it was like in those days. Many of us remember that growing up. That's what we did on Sundays after church. We remember fond memories of summer vacations at Uncle Irvin's cabin, fishing, which you still love to fish to this day, and going to visit with family from Dad's side in Escanaba, Michigan. You've always made Christmas a special occasion for us because your family has always meant the most to you. Today, you can proudly boast 14 grandchildren and 13 great-grandchildren. One of your faithful ministries has been providing baked goods for the church. To this day, you've become known for your sweet rolls, your breads, your lemon meringue pie, and your poppy seed tart. Yeah! Who loves home? You have also provided many homemade blankets for church fundraising events, and to this day, you still participate with quilting at church. Not only because it's a great social function, but because it also provides quilts for those less fortunate than we have been. Now, to represent Marjorie, her oldest, and the oldest of the grandchildren, Michelle. I know I had to, sorry.
I'm making your poppy seed tort on Tuesday.
And Michelle, stand behind the speaker.
No, he already tried it and perfected. as best we can. But I'm gonna make your poppy seed torte Tuesday because I have a bake off on Wednesday, so I have to wait. Anyway, Grandma, we can't think of you without thinking about your garden, your orchard, square dancing, your poppy seed torte, your pickles, your German potato salad that everybody requests at every function we have. Grandma's got to make potato salad. Your sham torte, all the baptismal gowns you've made, all of us for our kids. The countless Afghans you crocheted for all of us, the pig roasts, and almost everyone here could probably add to that list as you've all known her, just as long as everyone has here, so we've been blessed that everybody's here to join us for this. Today at the blessed age of 90, you are still gardening, still baking and canning, knitting and crocheting Afghans, volunteering at church, baking for Sunday treats and bake sales, participating in Bible study and maintaining your house and yard, and you still love to mow the lawn. You drive by and she'll be out on a lawnmower. Even though you need a little help sometimes, the one thing you don't seem to do is slow down. We are glad to see you so active because by watching you do so much, we get very tired and sleep. Even though you are 90, it seems you have no intent of stopping. Not only do you have countless recipes from a lifetime of baking and cooking, but you always seem to come up with a new recipe weekly on your cooks.com. Cooks.com. Now the latest pie crust, if nobody's heard, has vodka, so you can bring the vodka to Grandma's house, because now the pie crusts have alcohol. I know I grew up with Grandma. All the parents went to work and all those cousins hung out at Grandma's house and butchered chickens and learned how to sew and learned how to bake and cook, and it's been a blessing. Happy birthday, Grandma, a daughter, a sister, a mother, an aunt, grandmother, great-grandmother, and friend, and most of all, a child of God He has blessed us with you.
What? Okay. Oh! Oh, are you gonna say something? No.
You might have to turn it on. You have to turn it on.
I guess we're waiting for wine to be poured, so we can tolerate my toast. It could be coming soon, so.
A few minutes and then we'll have it.
Yeah.
So we'll get a wine poured on the toast in a few minutes.
Yeah, hold it close to your mouth.
We'll get the wine poured by Galliano, and then Steve will give a toast. He's got something all prepared, I hear. But in the meantime, they're going to come around with either red or white, whatever your preference is. Let them know, and they'll pour your wine, and then we'll have a toast. And after that, we're going to have dinner, I guess. So, talk to you in a few minutes. Annette wants to say something here, though. And behind the speakers.
Okay, good.
Hi, I'm Annette. I'm related to Evie based on marrying her grandson, who is Margie's son. I didn't think it through, but I have thoughts. Coming into the Tetzlaff family was quite intimidating because there are so many of them everywhere. From the cousins to the aunts and the uncles to the church community it's overwhelming. Matt and I have been married almost 7 years, and not a day goes by that I don't think about Margie. Even though I never met her officially, I knew who she was because Matt and I knew each other in grade school.
Yes.
Evie was so welcoming. The first day I met her, so was Randy and Steve and Jane. You could not wish to be in a more welcoming, loving family. And I want to thank Grandma Evie for raising Margie, because she raised my husband, who is the love of my life. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. She also taught me how to make dill pickles. So, you know, the tradition continues. Grandma Evie, we love you so much. Even though we don't see you every day, we think about you all the time. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Sarah, speech. Sarah, speech.
Kellen's up next.
He does. He wants to say something.
It might not be appropriate, but
No.
Second oldest, Jason.
Hey, do I need to start?
I want to say something.
So in the meantime, as my mom would lovingly say, "Gemiddelkeit, everybody."
Well, you know, the truth was, Mom never slowed down. Well, one year she said, I'm going to cut back on making pickles, so she only made 140 jars. I can put my glasses on. So when we were young, Mom babysat us by putting me in the middle of the field and working around me. I get to play in the dirt, so my immune system is really good. And then we learned how to drive a tractor, Randy and I, and then we would bring the silage in or the hay in. And one year the post that was holding up the gate on the wagon fell and hit her in the back. And fortunately, she didn't fall into the feeder bin on the auger, which would have been bad. So, and then when they built the house, the last one she's in right now, before he put the deck on, we actually poured the concrete. I got it ready for her, and we poured the concrete in. My helper was my mom, and her best friend was Max, and we poured that whole basement together without a wheelbarrow, with a 2x4. So we worked on the farm together, Mom and I. We raised, when her mother had a pig, a sow that wouldn't give milk, we actually had some little piglets that couldn't suckle anymore, so we actually started feeding little feeder pigs and raising. That was the beginning of raising pigs. And we had quit milking cows back in '69, I believe. So then we started doing that, and Mom was up here with me all the time, and worked together. Dad taught me and Randy a lot of stuff about how to fix equipment, and what they brought us up in with the wholesome of the family, and we basically lived on the farm all the time. We never went anywhere else, a lot of the times. But wouldn't have it any other than that. It was a great experience. They taught us a lot of ethics and everything, and that's what we instill in our families to this day. But when we built the house across the road at 333 where Kathy, the lady that's doing the pictures, lives right now, my dad gave my mother a Christmas gift or some kind of a gift. There was a dome like the ones over these little it was a little tree. But it had a dome over it, just like these globes, yeah.
Snow globes?
And Mom didn't know what it was for. And then all of a sudden Dad told her what it was for. It was for thimbles. So now Mom started gathering thimbles up everything she went all the time. And Dad said, oh no, another expense. And of course, to this day, anytime I get a hankering for a different dessert, I just whisper in my mom's ear, say, you know what, I haven't had for a while. And the next day I have it. So, you know, I guess something here I can't figure out what it was. But it's really,
Boxing your heart.
I know, Mom, I love you so much. I miss everybody, Dad. They were so good together. Mom took care of Dad until the day he had to go to Lasada. And I didn't want him to go because otherwise I wouldn't see him as much. We all lived in the neighborhood. My sister Margie, she moved away from home. She went to Grafton. Yeah, it was a couple more miles, so. Well, thank you so much for coming tonight. Yeah, please a toast.
To you, Mom.
You, Mom.
To my mom and everybody that.
Happy birthday.
And everybody she touched.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Gently.
Applause, everybody. Hi, Santa. How are you?
Come say hi to Santa.
Here's Evie.
How are you? You look beautiful. And guess what? I heard it's your birthday.
It is.
And I came to it because you're 90.
You don't believe it?
No, Santa doesn't believe it. Because you look 65. You look about 65 years old. And you're beautiful.
Thank you.
But would you like to tell all these people our hidden secret? Which I know you didn't tell. Huh?
You have to keep going, keep your mind active, and don't slow down.
Right on. All right. But you never told them our little secret. You have a whole room of family members here and friends, and you didn't tell anybody our little secret.
They're cooking together.
And you know, ho. I'll tell you, Grandma, I'm gonna let out your secret.
Oh no.
The secret was, before Grandma got married, she dated me. Why didn't you tell anybody that? Why didn't you? Tell the people why you didn't. Wow! Well, you know it, Grandma. Now it's out. The cat is out of the bag. Now, you know what else happened? She dumped me. Now that's terrible, isn't it? You dumped me for George. And George was a wonderful man. And I hear you had a good life.
I did.
With your family and George. Now, I understand that you just had a toast to your 90th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, alcohol is in her background. Yes, I know that she's baking with vodka now. Right? You are baking with vodka, right? That's one of your recipes. A good, very, very, very good cook. Baker, she sure would have done wonders for me had she not dumped me. But I understand you have 4 children.
Yes.
And they're all wonderful children, right?
Yes.
Did you ever have to spank Randy? Did you spank him? Huh?
Swat once in a while.
Oh, he got a swat. Where did you swat him?
What?
Where did you swat him?
On his behind.
On his behind. Now that Randy is old, well, he's young compared to you. But anyway, would you like to swat him again? On the behind?
He's too old to be swatted.
Oh, Randy's too old to be swatted. Okay, now, I hear you have 14 grandchildren.
Yes.
Where are they? Can all the grandchildren stand up? Let's give them a hand. All right. All right. What a nice looking group. What about the great grandchildren? There's 13 of them. Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, hey. How are you doing? How are you?
Good.
That's good. Are you looking forward to Santa coming? We don't have long, but I just had to come down here for this birthday party. This is so nice to be asked to come down here for this 90th. And then I hear you're a gardener. And then you bake.
Those are the dirty ones.
Did you make me a cookie? Ooh, what is that? That means no.
I could make you a lemon pie.
Oh, is that gonna go in my face? You dumped me before. So I don't know if I should take you up on that. And I hear you were a very hard worker. You went on a lot of trips. You know, if you stayed with me, we could have went on trips in the sleigh. Well, we can certainly give it a ride sometime. That would be a treat. And we're not finished yet. We're not finished.
Yeah, they coughed on it.
Because I know George was a wonderful man, but you're a single lady now. So we could always hook up.
I'll think about it.
Oh, at least I got a little further this time. She's thinking about it. So, anyway, I have a present for you. Would you like to sit on my lap? While I give you that present? All right. Well, I'll sit down here. All right. Now, oh yeah. Got a present for you. Let's see. Gotta grab the right one. Let's see here.
No, if I tell them he knows my mom's name, he has to. He knows her. I know.
Now, you got that microphone? Oh, here.
No, he's got it.
All right, Grandma, here we go. Now, push, let's see, push this button right there, right there.
See the microphone.
And here we go. Now we're officially dating. Okay, and I did have another package in here for you. I just gotta find it. Let's see here. Can you hold that? Sure. I'm gonna find that other packet.
What do you want to see, Mom?
Because it is your birthday, Grandma. There you go. And I got some covered cherries in there so we can start off on the right foot. Okay? Now, Grandma, you got all these children at your party here. Do you think we should talk to them, you and I together, while we start up our...
We gotta go hide.
Oh, Grandma wants to hide with me. Oh, where should we go? Where, in the sleigh? We got it parked in the back here. Okay, Grandma. Should we have the kids come forward and stand around us here?
Sure.
And we're going to ask them questions.
Oh, okay.
All right, all the kids, come on up. And then when we're done, all you children can tell me what you want for Christmas before I leave. Sounds good? But I'm going to have you work for these presents. Okay? You gonna work for it? Okay. Now, let's see. You're peeking. Go back there. We can't have any peekers because I'm gonna ask you questions. Okay, now, what is Christmas? What did Grandma have with George, what did Grandma have? What did they, when they hugged each other and stuff? What was that?
Love. Love.
Good, right, very good. It was love. And for how many years were you married to George?
About 57.
57 years. Let's have a hand for that. Wow. Way to go, Grandma. So there's a little ornament for you, because you guessed love. 57 years, that is wonderful. And I heard that you took care of your mother, right?
Yes, I did.
Till she was 101, 102, 101. Wow, that is a tremendous thing to do too. You know, Grandma was always helping others. You got married in November too, November 1st. November 1st. Why didn't you pick December? But I heard you almost, and I was peeking in your window.
Oh my God.
Yes, I heard when you thought you were going to get proposed to. You thought the whole night, where is my ring? Went home and was going to bed. And George set it up with your mother.
That's right.
And they found when you pulled the covers out, there, oh, and the potato, is this, and the potato was where the ring was. Is this the real ring? Ah.
Yeah, it's a real ring.
No, but I mean, this is the one that, this is
That's not the real one.
not the real one? You got that on your hand, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that is a really nice story, you know? You don't think I could have beat that? No? That's why you dumped me. Huh? You dumped me because of that? All right. Now, I guess Randy must have got this potato. He was supposed to eat it so he can finish his dinner there. All right. All right, kids, we got more. Okay. Let's see. What do we put on the chimney when we think we're gonna get something? Stocking? A stocking. You got that. There, very good. Okay, let's see. Did we scare you? Well, you're gonna go to bed on Christmas Eve, so I don't scare you, right?
I know, I'm gonna be sleeping. Only if my radio doesn't
Don't wake
me
up. You gonna leave me anything?
No. Only if
Now we're to this point. You know, Christmas time is a time of what?
Here.
Of what?
Here.
Of giving, and I want you to give me something. You gonna give me something? No? Well, he's honest. Wow. Cookies. But I want something special this year because I came here. What do I want? I want you to all color a picture of something that happens at Christmas and hang it in the window. Can you do that for me? So it's a giving time of year, right? So what comes in the let's see. Now I lost what I had here. There it is. Now, what else do people do for a greeting at Christmas time? What do we do? Yes, that is a good one. We give gifts. Christmas cards, yes, and it goes in the mail, right? Yeah. There's a winning answer right there. Now that is the most important thing. What is it?
Celebrating Jesus.
That is right. And that is the number one thing. Number one. And I know Grandma raised everybody here to go to church and celebrate God, right? Yes. Now that is a very, very, very good answer. Very good. Now what do we ring? We do ring jingle bells sometimes. Yes, Santa usually has them. But I left them at the North Pole. But you're right. You bells.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yes. Okay. What does Santa have? What does Santa have with him a lot of times that travels and that makes toys? What? Elves. Did you sing already to Grandma? No. Well, we're gonna sing because she's such a wonderful grandma, mother, and a lot of the things that I've read from my elves on the North Pole, everybody just loves you so much. So we're going to sing to you happy birthday on your 90th. Ready? 1, 2, day to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Evie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, I do. She's very happy that everybody came, and she's thanking us for coming. And thanks for inviting me. Or you didn't know I was coming.
No, I didn't know.
Well,
Surprise.
now we have things to talk about down the road here. Maybe we can get you to ride the sleigh and be a helper. Will you do that?
Okay, thank you.
Everybody look out their window and see. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And I know Eva was a very good dancer, and she taught people here how to dance, right?
My dad called her Elf.
Was that slam dancing or what?
Whoa!
Oh! Boy, is that what it takes to get a kiss? She never did that before. Yeah, she just waved at me. Goodbye. All right, thank you. And you are as beautiful as everybody says. You really are. All right. Merry Christmas! Ho! Ho! Ho!
How are you? Good to see you. Yes, are you all excited for Christmas? You're very excited? The best time of the year? Alrighty. Now, what do you want for Christmas?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell what it was.
Oh, are you gonna send me a letter?
Sure. I mean,
No,
He has everything already.
you gotta get it in
Dad's
there
great.
quick. So can you think it over tonight?
That was a guarantee.
You bet, buddy. And what was that? You're gonna send me a letter. Did you send me a letter too?
Yes.
Did you?
Hayden, watch out.
Not yet. I still have to make it. I keep forgetting because I'm so busy.
You're busy?
Yeah, I know. We're
Well,
very
you
busy
told
age.
me
It's
that
a very
Lego.
busy age.
I am more. I think I know what I want.
Oh,
Yeah.
it didn't take long to figure that out.
Oh, what is it?
What is it?
A Christmas tree.
A Christmas tree?
Train.
Train. Ah, okay.
A Christmas
That's your next,
train.
guaranteed.
I
Well,
hope it's not
Right.
a real one. Not a
let me see.
Like a locomotive with.
Now, Christmas train. Now, if I don't get it this year because it's getting late, I'm gonna give it to you next year. But I might be. I gotta see if it's we got one up there yet today. Getting a little late, but I hope we do have a Christmas train. First thing I do when I get back to the North Pole, I'm gonna look for that Christmas train.
or ask your office.
Huh?
Or ask the elves. Ask the elves.
Oh yes, I will ask the elf. All right, great. All right, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Thank you, Santa.
Ho, ho, ho.
High fives.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And all my favorite people are here. That's important to me. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.